Good evening, friends. We are live again. It's day 64. We're going live for 100 days straight, and we want to get right into it tonight. One of the things that one of my coaching friends had asked me to cover was more about Zoom. I took for granted that a lot of people are still maybe getting used to using Zoom, that type of thing. I will say that this feature is a feature in Zoom that requires you to have one of their paid plans, and I'll talk about that here in just a minute. But want to welcome everyone. Thanks for joining me again tonight. Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook. We're on all of those. So thanks for being with us. And we're going to get right to it. So one of the options that you have in Zoom, if you have a paid plan, and honestly, this might be worth it just in and of itself to have a paid plan. I'm not going to go over the cost of that tonight, but you, as you know, you can have a paid or a free. But with a paid plan, you can require registration for a meeting. Now, that can be important, obviously, for a couple of different reasons. You may want to follow up with your those that register. You may have follow-on information that they need to know prior to joining the Zoom meeting, and this is a really easy way because you can collect those emails, and if we're talking hundreds, then you can actually download that registration list and then import that into ConvertKit, for example. Another reason why you need ConvertKit. You could do that exclusively for that particular Zoom call, and you could create a segment and tags in ConvertKit to be able to make that go really, really smoothly. You know, one thing that you could do with this option that I see, you could begin to promote the meeting a couple of weeks in advance. If it's something along those lines, maybe it's a coaching session, maybe you're going to do some type of training, consulting, what have you, with a group of people. And whether it's free or monetized, you may want to incent people by saying, in essence, everyone that has registered by 3 days before the actual call, that they're going to be entered into a drawing and get some type of a free thing. And if it's a electronic type thing, maybe a PDF, something like that, you could give it to everyone that had registered prior to that date. And basically on the day that is the deadline, you import those email addresses into ConvertKit, or you do it manually through Google email, whatever it is that you use. You send out an email and you go ahead and send them the digital product. Now, again, with ConvertKit, it's not about ConvertKit tonight necessarily, but with ConvertKit, you could create a email that had basically a link and have that all stored in ConvertKit. They click on the link, they get the PDF, and you're off. And so that will give people an incentive to register. It will give people an incentive to join. You could even make it to where you don't send the email out until 15 minutes into the meeting, and you could have that set up in ConvertKit automatically to go out at a certain point in time with a broadcast. And all of that you can do with the free ConvertKit. So let's get into the actual Zoom part of this. I basically have two accounts. I've got a paid account and then I've got a free account. I'm going to first show you the paid account, and then we'll go from there. So here's a paid account, and I've already gone to meeting, schedule meeting. I didn't want some of the maybe personal information to show. So what you're seeing here is the scheduling of a meeting. And by the way, you do have to do this with the web, with your web login. You cannot do this with the client as far as I know. So you go in, obviously, and you put in your topic, and you then go, I'm going to move my picture-in-picture down a little bit. So you would go in and obviously put in your topic, put in your description, which is optional, date, time, all the things, duration, time zone. Here's where we get into the part where you can require registration. You'll see right here, after time zone, registration. And when you hit required, the first thing you'll notice is personal meeting ID will be unselected. You cannot use a personal meeting ID if you're going to require registration. So when we click on the require registration right here, you'll notice that it goes back to a meeting ID being generated automatically. You can also include a passcode. You can make sure that people go into the waiting room. A number of other things that I'm not going to go over tonight because that's not the topic that we're talking about. So I'm going to go ahead and go down here now and say save. And then I'm going to say copy invitation, copy meeting invitation, cancel that. And now I'm going to go email that to myself. So let's go into the email here. Actually, I'm going to pull the email up and I'll talk through it here while I pull up my email account. Make sure I don't have any issues with that. It does look like it's given me some problems for some reason, so I'm just going to bring up my Yahoo email account. I'll enter in an email. I'm going to compose an email as though I was sending it to as though it was being sent to me. Zoom, please register, and then I'm going to put in the link and send. Okay, now that once that email is available, I'll pull it up and we'll go to that. We're now here, and you'll notice that the email says you are invited to a Zoom meeting. It tells me when, how to register. The one thing I don't like about this is I don't know why it doesn't make that a hyperlink. So I have to do that, and then I'm going to cut and paste that in. So put that in up there, and then we'll see it's saying, okay, what's the topic? What's the description? Time. It's interesting that I don't really know what these icons do. But anyway, first name, last name, email address, and then I'm just going to say register. And then it gives me a confirmation. And you'll also notice that you can cancel the registration right here. So you can cancel your registration at any time by clicking on this. So now I'm going to go and bring up my email again, and I will see a registration confirmation. So you'll see right here that it says, thank you for registering. Please submit any questions, blah, 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 and gives you the information to connect. And I can also cancel right here as well. So that's pretty straightforward. What I'm also going to do now is show you what it looks like when you don't have the option. So let's do that real quick. Okay, so this is a free account. One of the things to point out, which you've probably noticed before, or you know, that you can have with the free plan a call or a meeting up to 40 minutes if you have 3 or more participants. If you have 2 or less. It's not really a meeting if it's only one. So if it's just you and one other person, there's actually no limit. But if you're 3 or more, then it's only 40 minutes. And by the way, even though this is about Zoom, if you don't like the 40-minute limit and you have 10 or fewer people in a call, go get StreamYard. It's got a link down there in the lower right, and that's free. And you can have a conference call, if you will, and you can share a screen for up to 10 people, including yourself, unlimited. You could literally have a call that lasts 12 hours, 13 hours. I don't know. There's not a limit, not a practical limit. I don't know anyone that has a meeting that's 12 hours long, but you could do it. So let's keep going down here. Now, after recurring meeting, if you remember the other screen, what would have been there is require registration, and you'll notice that it's missing. So that's basically bottom line. You don't have that capability in the free plan. So there's not much more to say about that other than it's unfortunate, but you can't require registration if you're not on a paid Zoom plan. So I would suggest you go check that out if you want. Again, I said at the beginning of the episode here, some of the reasons you might want to require registration. It is an extra step, but I think it's a worthwhile step. It is a way to, in essence, do a webinar type thing. Now, Zoom has a webinar feature, which I've never used. You do, again, have to pay for that. That gives you some more capabilities that are more in line with a typical webinar type scenario. But we did want to go over another feature in Zoom, and I also want to say go back and look at or watch the episode that's in the description. So if you're on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, you should be able to see in the description under free resources, there's a reference. It doesn't say what book, but it says free book, and that's the 1 Million Followers by Brendan Kane. I've talked about that a couple of different nights, several different episodes. You can get his printed book for free or a PDF. I mean, they're really technically not 100% free. For the printed book, you do have to pay $9.95 shipping, but that's quite a bit cheaper than buying it on Amazon. It's cheaper than getting the Audible unless you have an Audible subscription. And that's another thing that I'll just mention real quick, which is also in the description. If you sign up for an Audible trial and you have, and if you have Amazon Prime, you can get 2 Audible books for free. And if you cancel the Audible before the trial is over, you get to keep those 2 books. So I recommend that you get 1 Million Followers, and I also recommend Jab, 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 Right Hook. Those are the 2 that I would get, but obviously there's a ton of great audiobooks available through Audible on Amazon. And I also like the fact that you can play that through the web, through the app on a phone, smartphone app on your laptop. And by the way, for the monthly price, you get 2 credits a month. So that's basically 2 different books. And some months, I don't even download 2. And so, in some months, it's now like I have 4 and I can kind of get caught up. And the 1 Million Followers book by Brendan Kane, read by him, unabridged, is about 7 hours. It's worth it. I really like the book because I like to highlight and bookmark pages, all those kind of things. And to be able to get it for $9.95 instead of having to buy it on Amazon was a great find. And actually, his other book, more recent book called Hook Point, is also available in the same manner. I'll do another video on that. If you want to find out about it, let me know. I'm going to be doing that when I do it exclusively on YouTube. So another incentive for you to go get connected with my YouTube channel. I'll pull that up real quick, the link, but it's in the description as well. But go get subscribe to my YouTube channel, turn on notifications so you'll know when we go live exclusively on YouTube. That way you won't miss it. I'm sure you're tired of hearing about it, still waiting. I guess Flex Watches has got a ton of stuff going on, but we are getting some watches in, and we'll be doing a giveaway that will be exclusively on YouTube. I'm anxious to be able to do that. Excited to be able to give some things away. So go subscribe to the channel, go turn on notifications, and then one other thing I will mention, which I would highly recommend, is to go and let me find it. One other thing that I want to share with you, another link. If you decide to take my advice, which I share every night, which is to go start your own YouTube channel, another free tool. We love free tools. I talk about free tools all the time. We've got StreamYard that's free, ConvertKit that's free, and then this tool called TubeBuddy. If you're going to start a YouTube channel, you need to install TubeBuddy so that you can do keyword research, analytics, all kinds of neat tools that will allow you to evaluate how your channel's doing, help you with putting in the right keywords for your videos. And with some of the paid plans, you can do things like thumbnail generation. You can do mass updates of videos. You could do a mass change to descriptions. A good example of that, very valuable, would be the changing out of affiliate links. So in other words, imagine that you've got, maybe you're like me, and at the end of 100 days, you've got 100 videos and you've got an affiliate link in there that has unfortunately changed, and that does happen. And if you don't have something like TubeBuddy to do that mass update or change, then you're just going to have to go into the description in your YouTube studio and change every one of them one by one. So with TubeBuddy, it's basically like a search and replace. So that's a great tool. And then also, we're going to let you know here real quick the link to the playlist. So again, on YouTube, we've got a playlist, 100 days, and every episode, including this one, as soon as we end the live stream, we'll put it in the playlist and you can go and watch previous episodes. Until Switchboard's not available anymore, I'm going to tell everyone, go watch episode 16, go watch episode 38. There are some episodes even beyond that talk about Switchboard, and you owe it to yourself if you're going to do live streaming, or if you want to get into live streaming. It's a great tool. I'm not going to talk about it tonight. Talked about it plenty of other times. Go check out the playlist. And if you want to do me a favor, start the playlist tonight. Let it run all night on your computer. And then in the morning when you get up, it'll still be playing and you can catch up and actually listen to it. Just mute it even if you want. But we are trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're also trying to get to 4,000 watch hours. Once you get to that point, you can apply to be a part of the YouTube Partner Program, and a lot of nice perks come with that as a creator. Yes, I can monetize. I may or may not do that on every video, but there's so many other things that you have. There's a community tab where I can do post kind of like a blog. I would also say, since I mentioned blog, go check out last night's episode. I'll make sure it's I'll make sure that it is at the end of this video if you're on YouTube, and also the playlist will be up here. So go check all that out. And tomorrow will be 65. So that's a nice, cool number. We're so close. That means that we're, 35 episodes away, just a little over a month from reaching the 100 mark. We started back when President Biden was inaugurated. That was day 1. And we progressed to where we're now, as of tomorrow, we'll be at episode 65. Thank you, everyone, for being a part of this for all those days. Please keep those comments coming, the likes, the shares, all the love. We appreciate it all, and we're going to have a big party for sure when we get to those 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. And but we're also going to celebrate when we get to 100 days straight of live streaming. We may keep going. We may take a break. I'm not really sure. But we do thank you for being a part of it. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Bye.